Alright people, this is Brad the Lad back again with another video, and today it's Tuesday and it's Brad's Ref Show. Right, so Southampton against Man United. It's my team, Man United, up against Southampton. It's the first kick-off of the weekend. It's on BT Sport. It's going to be refereed by Mike Dean. Chelsea's Sheffield United is Stuart Atwell. The next one is Crystal Palace against Aston Villa. That's going to be refereed by Kevin Friend. Leicester against Bournemouth is going to be refereed by new referee Peter Banks. The next game is, I believe, is Man City versus Brighton, and they said Newcastle Watford then. So Man City versus Brighton, that's going to be refereed by John Moss. Newcastle Watford, Graham Scott. Referee of West Ham versus Norwich is Paul Tierney. And the final game of the weekend on Saturday is Burnley versus Liverpool. That's going to be refereed by Chris Kavanagh. On Sunday, the two games are Everton against Wolves. That's going to be refereed by Anthony Taylor and Martin Atkinson. We'll referee the North London derby between Arsenal and Spurs. So, that's the referee appointments. If you have an opinion on them, please put them down in the comments below. And also, I'm going to rate the referees of each game of last week. Right, so the first game of the weekend last week was Norwich City versus Chelsea. Chelsea won this game by 3-2. Martin Atkinson was the ref. I'm going to give Martin Atkinson a 6 out of 10. I don't think it was his best performance. He is one of the best referees around in English football. But I don't think he had a great game. I thought he made some, not terrible mistakes, but I think he made, there was one error which was a bit confusing, because really there was a clear foul by Olivier Giroud on Tim Krul, and the referee gave the goal, and then everybody went quiet. The Chelsea fans were celebrating. I think even the Chelsea supporters knew it wasn't a goal, and so Martin Atkinson gave the goal, and then VAR, which is Andre Mariner, told him not to give the goal. It's a foul. So yeah, it was a foul, and there was a penalty that Chelsea didn't get. I thought it should have been a penalty. I thought Azpilicueta was clearly brought down. I just don't think he had a particularly great game. But yeah. I think he's been trusted with the North London derby. I think he'll handle it. He'll be fine. But I don't think. But yeah, I just don't think he had a particularly an outstanding game. No, that wasn't the first game of the weekend, was it? No, it was Aston Villa versus Everton, which is going to be ref by Michael Oliver. Now this one, I think Everton should have had a penalty. I think it got a bit heated at times, but I'm going to give Michael Oliver. I'm going to give Michael Oliver another 6. This is the first time I've done it, but I'm going to give Michael Oliver a 6 in this one as well. Again, I don't really think he had a bad game, but there was a couple of calls. There was a call where Richarlison was brought down. It looked a penalty to me, but VAR didn't say no. It's not a howler. It's not a clear and obvious error. So, yeah, I don't think he had a bad game. He did get a bit heated at times, but he kept his cool. He kept his composure. He was a good ref, but I think maybe I don't know. In fact, no. I'm gonna instead. I think a 6 is a bit harsh for Michael Oliver because of that one call. Because, it might have been a wrong call, I'm going to give Michael Oliver a 7. Actually, I'll give him a 7. Because, he, obviously Everton fans will think, what the hell? The referee didn't give us a penalty. It's a clear penalty. If he hasn't made a howler, I think that's fine, I think, in the ref's opinion, it wasn't a foul. It did look a foul to me. I think if I was the referee of that game, I would have given it. But he's one of the best referees around. He probably had a clear view of it. Maybe wasn't enough contact. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to give Michael Oliver a 7. I think a 6 is a bit harsh. But yeah, Martin Atkinson, still giving you a 6, mate. Sorry. Right. Next one is in the 3 o'clock games. Brighton against Southampton. I'm going to give referee Kevin Friend, I'm going to give him a 9 in this one. I thought he had a terrific game. I thought it was the best refereeing performance I've seen this weekend. I think, the Florian Andone sending off was correct. I think any referee would have sent him off for that. It was a horrible challenge. And obviously he played a wonderful advantage in the second half. The goal where Brighton had the moment when Brighton had a goal disallowed, that's not down to the referee. That's down to the linesman, and the VAR sorted it out, and they disallowed the goal. And the referee, Kevin Friend, played a wonderful advantage for Southampton's first goal. It was about to blow the whistle, and then it was just what I saw on the TV yesterday. That's how I'm just describing it when I say about to blow, 3 times, and then he played advantage, and Djenepo, I think that's how you pronounce it, got the opening goal with a fantastic finish into the bottom right hand corner. So well done to Kevin Friend. I think he had the best refereeing performance this weekend. So the next referee we're going to look at is Paul Tierney's performance at Old Trafford. Now, this is going to be interesting. Right, my team, Man United. No, this is not to be biased. I mean, I would have done this for any referee if it was a different game, But Paul Tierney had a terrible game at Old Trafford last week, I think. I think he got some big calls wrong. And I think I'd say he's usually one of the stronger referees in the Prem. But I don't think he was strong enough in this game at Old Trafford. I think the Gary Cahill should have been sent off. He might have his view, but he should have been sent off, in my opinion. I don't often criticise referees, but he should have been sent off, in my opinion, for a clear foul. Clear foul, denial of a goal scoring opportunity. It was the last man. I think he should have been sent off. I think Martial should have had a penalty. VAR checked it and they agreed with him, but I think they thought it's not a clear and obvious one. I thought it looked pretty clear and obvious to me. He did give us a penalty, though, for a foul on McTominay, which we missed. We also had another penalty claim for Rashford. I don't know, I haven't seen it really, really well, but Rashford seemed pretty adamant that it was a penalty. And he booked Daniel James for diving, and I thought that was wrong. I criticised him in my video because I thought he did dive, because I listened to 5 Live and the commentator said that he dived. Maybe I'll give the referee benefit of the doubt, because maybe at first it did look like a dive, but it was actually caught. But yeah, that's the thing really with the VAR thing, because it's not a hard decision. It's not a hard decision. So, it's just it was just annoying, really. Obviously, we lost the game, and I'm a bit disappointed, a little bit salty, after losing the game. There's nothing against Palace, I'm not being critical of Crystal Palace by any means. Crystal Palace were fantastic; they deserved to win, and we were absolutely dog shite. So, that's nothing. I'm not being salty towards Crystal Palace. I'm just really wish we had the refereeing benefit of the doubt, but we just didn't. And sometimes teams like Crystal Palace or Watford or a Burnley, they need that sort of luck when they come into places like Old Trafford, the Etihad, Anfield, whatever. So, yeah, for me, I think that Paul Tierney, for me, gets a 4 out of 10, and I think I'm being pretty generous there. Right. Next game, Sheffield United against Leicester. Andy Madley was a referee of this game. I'm going to give Andy Madley a 5 out of 10 because I watched highlights of the game, didn't really have to make any major calls, so yeah, I think Andy Madley had a very quiet game. So 5 out of 10 for him. Maybe a bit harsh, but I've just given him a 5 because, he didn't. Do you know what? No, I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 since he didn't really have any major calls to make in the game. Right. Which one was next? I think it was Watford against West Ham. Chris Kavanagh was referee of this one. Chris Kavanagh, for me, he gets a 7. Again, solid game. It got one big moment in the game where he refereed the match between Watford and West Ham. He gave an early penalty to West Ham for a foul by Decore. It was a penalty, and referee correctly pointed to the spot, and he didn't really have any major decisions to make in my view. So apart from that penalty incident, so 7 out of 10. So the evening game of the weekend, Liverpool against Arsenal. Anthony Taylor, referee of this game. Again, I think most of the refs had a pretty promising performance, if I'm being completely honest. Anthony Taylor got the penalty correct. I don't know why David Luiz complained to him that it was a penalty, but he gave it. So it was a stonewaller. VAR checked a couple of things, but there was nothing wrong. So again, Anthony Taylor gets a 7. Right. On to Sunday's games now. Which one was first? It was Bournemouth Man City, wasn't it? Bournemouth Man City. Andre Mariner refereed this game. Andre Mariner, again, I'm going to give Andre Mariner. I don't really think he got. I know the Bournemouth fans booed him a couple of times. I'm going to give Andre Mariner a 6 because Kyle Walker possibly should have had 2 yellow cards early on. He didn't get booked for the first one, which I think any referee would have booked him for. And the second one, I heard that could have been a red. And, yeah, I just think, maybe, Kyle Walker might have been fortunate there. And, I think Andre Mariner is a very calm referee. Obviously, we don't want to see yellow cards being flashed about, but maybe he should have been booked for that challenge early on. Might sound a bit harsh, He's one of the most respected referees in the Premier League by the players, I've heard. Obviously, no fans respect him. Maybe I do, Maybe I don't have a problem with referees, Obviously, I was a bit annoyed that we've lost the game against Palace. If we beat Southampton, I'll probably feel better. But, those things happen, really. You have decisions go for you and you have them don't go for you. So, yeah, I just think, today, I think overall in this game, Andre Mariner gets a 6 out of 10. He didn't really have any major calls to make other than that. But I think, maybe those decisions gave him a bit of a low rating. Right, next game is... I don't know, really. Next game is the evening game. Tottenham against Newcastle, that's it. Mike Dean refereed this one. There's a big incident in this game. I think it was a penalty, but I'm glad it wasn't because I was like, oh no, come on, I want another big team to lose to I want another shock. I want another team like United, Spurs, so one of my friends can one of my friends are feeling the same way I do. So I'm glad Mike Dean didn't give the penalty. I'm glad VAR didn't give the penalty, but it was a penalty. It was. Lascelles was diving on the floor to get to stop Harry Kane, really, rather than trying to trip him up or wrestle him to the floor. And yeah, they got the calls wrong. For that incident, I'm gonna give Mike Dean a 6.5. I'm gonna be slightly generous there, Mike, because you didn't give the penalty to Tottenham, and I'm really, really grateful that you didn't. Sorry, Spurs fans, but I just didn't want to. I just would have felt so alone in defeat. So, yeah, thank you, Mike Dean, for not giving that penalty. And obviously, yeah, Newcastle win the game. Fantastic performance from them. Never expected them to get a result. I thought they really struggled this season, and they got a really good win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So congratulations to Newcastle and Steve Bruce. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Burnley. The referee for this one was Craig Pawson. I'm going to give Craig Pawson a quite high rating. I don't think he had a particularly bad game. Got one big call correct. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 here, because I think it's a very, very, very difficult decision to make. Obviously, my rating skills are not quite very, very good. Maybe I can probably get some comments from that. I haven't seen every single whole game, because the TV's been playing up a bit, which has been a bit irritating. But what I will say is that I'm very, very pleased that the ref gave that. Obviously, because it's a very tough decision for Craig Pawson to make. I don't think I would have given it if I was the ref. I don't think I would have got a good enough view. But I think that was quite a good decision, if I'm honest. Burnley fans will come raging to me. I'm not glad that he gave the penalty, because I've got something against Burnley. I wouldn't mind if Burnley won the game. If Burnley had a really good start to the season, that wouldn't have been so bad. I kind of like Burnley. I like Sean Dyche. I like what he's done. I like I like some of the supporters as well. They've got some good vocal support. But yeah, I thought the referee in this game had a particularly good game, if I'm honest. One big call in the whole game, and that was right at the end, and he got it correct. So well done to Craig Pawson. So the best referee of the weekend for me overall was Kevin Friend. He had a pretty sound game at Brighton, so that's what I'm going to go with. Paul Tierney, not because it was against my team, but I just thought it was poor in general. So I'm going to give Paul Tierney a 4 out of 10. Sorry, Paul. Better luck next time at West Ham versus Norwich. So, yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. I'm Brad the Lad, and I am out, and I shall see you tomorrow.